From KLCC Studios, this is Oregon on the Record.
I'm Michael Dunn. There's a kind of perfect storm going on right now in our nation and state's labor market. Employers in almost every sector desperately need educated employees, but oftentimes many ready, willing, and able candidates can't afford to obtain the required degree to fill some of these high-demand jobs. It's one of the reasons why the community college system and our region's main community college are stepping into the fray. Today on Oregon on the Record, you'll hear from leaders at the Oregon Community College Association and at Lane Community College about a new strategy in education, the development of a community college conferred bachelor degree. This new program provides students with a way to meet the rigorous demands in education that employers want, but at a fraction of the cost of obtaining a degree at a four-year college. Today, you're going to hear from our local institution, Lane Community College, and the State Association about the next evolution in that experience for our modern-day workforce. First up, we talk with the Deputy Director of the Oregon Community College Association, John Wycoff. He is the Deputy Director for the Oregon Community College Association. Really appreciate you coming on and talking with us.
You're welcome.
Yeah, maybe give us a kind of an overview of how your organization, how the Oregon Community College Association is working to provide even more value to students who enroll in a community college.
Well, I think, the colleges in particular have, and three in particular right now, are embarking on kind of a new kind of bachelor's program in Oregon called an applied baccalaureate degree. Mm-hmm. And these are really different than the sort of traditional bachelor's degrees that people think of for several reasons. The first is really the type of student who takes them. Folks who take these degrees tend to be returning adult students. They're more likely to be heads of household, more likely to be women. They're just less likely to be that kind of the student just directly graduating from high school, and folks who are looking for skills to get a promotion or take the next step in their career, mm-hmm. but are often already out in the workplace. And applied baccalaureate degrees are two-year extensions of career and technical education degrees. So they tend to start in technical fields. Okay. The one at Lane is business management. There's one at Mount Hood starting in cybersecurity, another business-related degree at Chemeketa Community College. So these are the first three applied baccalaureate programs out of the gate since the law was passed in 2019. Which empowered community colleges to offer these programs.
It's interesting because, thinking about those particular students you were just talking about, I mean, obviously there are a lot of barriers to just going ahead and getting, a four-year degree from, say, the University of Oregon or Portland State University. And a lot of that has to do with cost, of course. But, it seems like, community college, which, as I understand it, they were developed to kind of fill that niche in our education system, decades and decades ago. And it sounds like this particular degree and perhaps others is a fairly new strategy of community colleges looking to fill niches in the education system that I imagine a lot of students might have previously hit kind of a brick wall. Is that a fair assessment of what you're trying to do?
I think that is fair, and it's for both the students that have maybe hit a brick wall and both the students that until they're in a career and they realize they aren't going to get that promotion until they get some additional training or get kind of that bachelor's degree, that they feel that they're already facing a wall to have to go into a traditional four-year university, and so they probably wouldn't have looked at that to begin with. Mm-hmm. And so we're offering a pathway for students that is just that I think meets their particular life situation and where they are in their life better than a lot of traditional programs. They are less expensive. So, I mean, obviously that is a factor as well. But mm-hmm. I think a lot of it, again, is the flexibility and sort of meeting students where they're at.
Yeah. It's been such a weird economy. And while there's been a lot of pressures on the economy, the fact is, the labor market is incredibly tight tight. There are so many employers who are desperate for employees. And so my last question for you is kind of where you see Oregon community colleges, being that, for lack of a better phrase, kind of that shining knight coming to the rescue, because obviously, there are hurdles to hiring people, and perhaps these kinds of degrees, this kind of strategy you're talking about are a way for some of these hurdles to be removed from the students who leave a community college and could go right into a workforce.
That's absolutely right. And I think particularly in rural areas where students may be more place bound or not want to leave their communities and may not have access to that or previously had access to the kind of education or training that they want without leaving their communities. And we do know when students do that, they often don't come back. And so one of the benefits here is that students can get that education locally, and then whether it's in nursing or in business management or cybersecurity, and then use those skills locally to help the local economy.
Yeah. Well, John Wycoff, he is the Deputy Director for the Oregon Community College Association. Really appreciate you coming on and talking with us.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Next, you'll hear from a longtime human resources pro who believes new degree programs at the community college level could be a real game changer for employers. Rachel Ulrich, an HR and communications consultant and longtime HR and communications professional. Thanks so much for jumping on and talking with us.
Absolutely, Michael.
Yeah. I want to ask you in sort of your experience, as someone who's been recruiting and looking for talent for organizations for a long time, have you had situations where perhaps you had a candidate who had great, business experience and really, checked all the boxes, a great team player, all the things you were looking for, but they didn't have that 4-year degree, and so you had to perhaps, or the organization you were working with, or you yourself, had to lose out on a candidate because that one box couldn't be ticked?
Absolutely. And actually more often we didn't even get to look at that great candidate because we screened them out with the job posting requiring a 4-year degree or a specific degree. And then we didn't get a chance to even look at those candidates that had so many other things going for them. But because of that one item, we didn't get a chance to look at them.
Yeah. So given where Lane Community College is and some of the other colleges of developing this bachelor's degree, this applied bachelor's degree in business, I'm wondering, especially in this incredibly tight labor market, do you think that something like this that is certainly cheaper and seems to be more aimed at the busy working professional who may not have time to get the traditional 4-year degree that has a lot of core classes that maybe don't directly apply to business, do you think this could be kind of a bit of a game changer for employers looking for those kind of management positions that require a 4-year degree?
It's huge. This is just an exciting time because it's such an intersection of some efforts that came from diversity, equity, and inclusion, trying to find both in the workforce as well as in higher ed ways to bring more people to the table to broaden the access point. And because of the labor market being the way it is, employers are willing to be more creative in finding talented people. And so all those pieces are coming together and really having these wonderful collaborative experiences where schools like LCC and others in the area are saying, how can we do this so more people can get a great education and get to the workforce faster? So it's super exciting times when these programs come out.
Yeah. A phrase you just used, kind of that creative thinking. I just wanted to kind of pull that thread a little bit more about this idea that, obviously the workforce has gone through so many changes just in the last couple of years. And, certainly with COVID and things like that. Wanted to get your, read on, even more creativity and even more linkage between, say, institutions of higher learning like Lane Community College and other colleges and the workforce, kind of trying to perhaps find even more common ground to, as you say, get more people into the workforce.
Absolutely. And it's happening even at the high school level with the CTE programs, with the career technical education kind of exploding back on the scene. And then colleges that maybe were considered intermediary colleges to a four-year education like LCC are stepping up and saying, we can do that technical coordination with the high schools as well as with standalone programs like this and get people where they want to be so they're earning the incomes they want in their specialties they're interested in. It's really exciting to watch those develop. The main thing is, can you give these students all of the skills that we're after, meaning collaboration, leadership, resource development, technical skills? If all of those are happening in these more focused programs, we're going to get a better workforce coming to the employer side of the equation.
Yeah. It's pretty exciting, as you mentioned. Rachel Ulrich, who is a HR and communications consultant and longtime human resources professional, really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us.
Absolutely. Have a great day.
Now we'll talk to the head of communications and an instructor at Lane Community College about this new degree program. Rebecca Long, Director of Marketing and Strategic Communications, and Marci Hansen, an instructor at Lane Community College. Thanks so much to both of you for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Boy, either one of you, this first question, whoever wants to tackle it, what was kind of the need that Lane Community College saw as curriculum was offered at a particular time and said, you know what, we need to do something different and we want to, offer this Bachelor of Applied Science degree?
I would say that this is Marci. I would say the need, I'm going to give you three quick reasons why it felt like there was a need and what we may be filling or what we're hoping to fill with this degree. Number one is the cost of getting a bachelor degree. Lane Community College's bachelor degree, the tuition will be the same as what our associate degree tuition is. And so it's really a fraction of the price to get a bachelor degree with Lane versus another university. A second reason is that it is an applied degree. And what that means is that the general education classes that you'd be used to taking when you got a four-year degree from a regular university, those aren't part of this degree. Literally every class that you take when you get the bachelor's degree will be a business class. So your electives that you can choose from to take are things like human resources and business law and project management and marketing classes. And we saw that as a way to really be able to hit the ground running with your career or with opening your own business, because all of your classes apply to what you're about to do for your career.
Okay.
And then the third thing is that it is a online program with meeting on campus just one night per week. So we like to say you can keep your day job while getting your bachelor degree at Lane.
Okay. It sounds like it's really designed for maybe a specific type of student in mind. I'm thinking of like you said, someone who's already working or somebody who maybe, has so much going on in their life already that this kind of fits in with that schedule. Is that a fair assessment?
That is a fair assessment. It's for the student that kind of knows already what they want to do. They may be working in the position already. And now want to get that bachelor degree to be able to get promoted, or they really can picture very clearly where they want to go with their degree. Maybe open a new business, start their own business, get promoted, that kind of thing. That this program would apply very well to someone with those kind of life goals.
Okay.
And this is Rebecca, and I would add to that right now, the numbers are showing that many people who are looking to get a bachelor's degree aren't meeting that goal. And in looking at why that's happening, what we're finding is that one size fits all approach really isn't fitting. And so students are looking for something different. So students are looking for something that gets them into the workforce faster or gets them that promotion faster.
Yeah.
So community colleges are now able in Oregon to step up to the plate and say, here's a new way to do this. And we're not really competing with the four-year universities. We're just offering a new solution.
Okay. It's interesting because, I've talked to many business leaders, business owners, and one of the hallmarks that they talk about in terms of succeeding in business is being flexible and nimble, those kind of hallmarks. And it kind of sounds like, and Rebecca, I'll ask you this, it kind of sounds like, Lane Community College and perhaps other community colleges throughout Oregon are trying to become more nimble to meet students where they need to be met in order to compete in a 21st century workforce.
Definitely. Our students are telling us that their main goal is that paycheck at the end. They're getting that degree in order to move up in business, move up in their careers, and meet those goals that they have personally and professionally. Our president is very much behind the idea of workforce development and meeting the needs of Lane County and the surrounding areas, making sure that we're producing students who can go out and get jobs, start new careers, and they know what they're doing from day one.
Let me reintroduce you both to our audience. We're talking with Rebecca Long, Director of Marketing and Strategic Communications at Lane Community College. And we're also talking to Marci Hansen, an instructor at Lane Community College. Marci, I understand you'll be teaching some classes in this degree program. Maybe give us an idea of what those classes are going to be like.
So the classes for the new Bachelor program at Lane are really going to be more tactical maybe than a class that someone would take at a four-year university. And they will also, they're going to be a balance of getting the students the information they need and then also meeting them where they are a little bit. One of the facets of this degree, which I find fascinating, is that we're asking students to come in as a junior, basically, so it's like your third year of a four-year degree. And we are accepting an associate program or an associate degree in any specialty that they want to come from. So we're going to have students in those classes from diesel mechanics, from early childhood education, from cybersecurity. And so really, it's going to be a very hands-on approach to working with each student, which is also why we're keeping the classes small, working with each student to really be able to help them get up to speed quickly in those business classes.
Marci, I know you've been in private business, for a long time. You've sort of been in the trenches, and you've worked in different industries and whatnot. I can imagine that think of yourself maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago. It might have been, or I don't want to put words in your mouth, but there might have been a level of frustration, saying, "Boy, I really want people who, again, to use your words, kind of have more of a tactical approach to business, and maybe I'm not getting that necessarily from four-year university." But I'm also realizing that there are people who maybe couldn't afford a four-year university, but I know that they have the drive and determination. Is this kind of an answer to maybe that conundrum?
That's exactly what it is. When I would bring in interns into my department as a marketing executive, there was a lot of kind of what Rebecca had mentioned earlier of, I'm not sure what you're talking about. And you're having to kind of back way up and explain what we're even supposed to be doing as a marketer, versus having someone who understands already a lot of just the basics, and they're going to get that in these programs. That's exactly what we're looking for.
Okay. Rebecca, looking at the college writ large, the entire institutions, do you think that, obviously I know that this is specifically for business management. Do you see that it could be that there may be other, bachelor degrees in different programs at Lane Community College, so that those people who maybe can't see themselves, affording or completing a four-year degree, but can see this as, maybe this isn't the right terminology in terms of the next best thing.
Definitely. We are on the cusp of introducing a new bachelor's degree program in nursing that will be coming very shortly, as well as keeping our eye out on how well this and the nursing program do to introduce more. Of course, our focus will remain that 2-year associate's degree is kind of the bread and butter of community colleges.
Wow.
However, we definitely want to meet the needs of employers as well as our students and make sure that education or higher education is accessible to everyone.
Yeah. What have business leaders, perhaps in Lane County at their state, have you had an opportunity to talk to them about this program, but also just generally about, a community college doing more for the business community to provide them with the workers, the leaders that they're going to need today and tomorrow?
I actually was in meetings. This is Marci. I was just in meetings today with the Springfield Greeters, with the Chamber of Commerce.
Sure.
Also with Lane Workforce and with Collaborative EDU today. And all of them, the heads nod. You just see the response of, oh my gosh, this is exactly what Lane County needs. The opportunity to get students who are coming out, ready to work. Also, it opens opportunities for an employer to say, this is a valuable enough program at a great price that I would be willing to send an employee into this program to have them learn more and be more valuable to me later. And so it really is a kind of a multifaceted, positive change for Lane County.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, that's all the time we have, but I really appreciate you both jumping on and talking with us. We have been talking to Rebecca Long. She's the Director of Marketing and Strategic Communications at Lane Community College, and also Marci Hansen, an instructor at Lane Community College. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's our show for today. I want to thank my guests, Oregon Community College Association Director John Wycoff, Rachel Ulrich, an HR and communications consultant, Rebecca Long, Director of Strategic Communications, and instructor Marci Hansen of Lane Community College. On Monday's show, you'll get an update on the status of Eugene's new City Hall by the city manager and the mayor. Do you have any questions about this new building or the process up till now? Send us your comments to questions@klcc.org. This show, along with all episodes of Oregon on the Record, is available at klcc.org. I'm Michael Dunn, and this has been Oregon on the Record. Thanks for listening.